I truly believe that Gen Z and millennials are going to be the cataclysm of why generations after us are going to fail. And yes, I am including the millennials because for some reason you guys can't keep your Twitter fingers off the internet for at least one day. Most of the time when you see cancel culture or any other controversies when it comes down to things on the internet, it's usually by the millennials. And we usually find the most dumb reasons to cancel people for the most unhinged things ever. I mean, you could literally be canceled for calling someone fat. Excuse me? Yes, maybe Gen Z, but it's also not just Gen Z's fault, and it's definitely the millennials contributing to the majority of the controversies out there today, while being the same people that are pushing 40. Don't you have kids? And not only is it stupidity, but it's not taking accountability for many things, and really thinking a lot of people can do whatever they want for some odd reason, like this is a new world. I mean, it's literally anarchy out there right now. Now hear me out. During the early 2000s to the mid 2010s, you would notice that toxicity and how people acted were at an all-time low. I mean, yes, maybe you have your menaces to societies out there and absolute keyboard warriors going crazy, causing chaos, but I would definitely take back then than now, because nowadays it seems like there's some sudden shift in the atmosphere, and it has made this generation the most softest generation out there. And nowadays, when you try to keep it real with someone, you're basically gonna get slandered, especially the throwaway word that everyone loves to use nowadays, phobic. I mean, they slap any word in front of that. And sometimes you could just have a regular opinion, but for some odd reason, you can't even have an opinion nowadays. It's like they want you to be stuck in this hive mind mentality with the internet. I mean, you forget that people really don't care in general, and the only reason why they care is because it's in front of their faces. As the title says it all, the real problem with Gen Z is definitely the millennials putting bad influence towards Gen Z in the first place. But I think it's okay to have a man who's a scammer, a con artist, I'm talking about a dealer off the corner, rather than someone who's educated, a lawyer, or even a doctor. I mean, you can't make this up. It's like bring back bullying, because at this point, people are getting dumb and dumber. But we gotta talk about this one social media app where it took over the world by storm, and now all of a sudden everyone and their mama is on this app. I mean, TikTok is literally the definition of hive mind control. And I'm talking about the ages 6 to 40 are on this app. I'm talking about people that shouldn't be on this app in the first place, whether you're too young or too old, are on this app. And just that power alone to influence that many people from those ages, which is literally almost everyone on this planet, pretty scary. It's either we're gonna get ourselves or the robots are gonna get us. And the TikTok influence is actually insane. I mean, you really got people out there really want to be other people. I'm talking about their style, their drip. I mean, shoot, even the influencers put a bad rep when it comes down to it. And while it's not 100% their fault, they still contribute to it. I can't really just ignore it when everyone is literally saying Riz, the Rizzler, Rizzer 101, Gat, Blazing. I mean, every single celebrity is using these types of words nowadays, which were originally used by other creators. Like, I know I'm not the only one that gets surprised when I see someone say Riz and it's someone in their 60s. Like, that's how big these words have gotten out in this world. And as I said, with the people that's trying to be someone other than themselves, I know I'm not the only one that went to school in this country now. Like, come on now. We've all been in elementary school and we've always heard that teacher say that one phrase that is ingrained in our minds: be yourself. But it's like we grew up and took those words and threw it out the window and said, well, fortune favors the bold, and instead decided to commit literal crimes for clout. And people will go out their way to publicly embarrass themselves just for it. I mean, we can't forget about the NPC crisis going on right now. Talking about some yes, 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 ice cream so good. And these trends prove it and prove it by the day how Gen Z is just stuck. I mean, it's far too gone. As someone who is a part of this generation, I really don't feel like I am, because no normal average person is taking part in these things. If you aren't getting paid for it, no one's doing it. But we can't leave out some of the influencers in Gen Z. I'm definitely talking about Ice Spice, Ruby Rose, Sexy Red, all these new female rappers that came out of the blue, out of nowhere. I mean, you would have thought they were famous for something back then than what you would see now. And while it is good marketing for themselves, at the end of the day, talent has been thrown out the window, and pretty much people would rather see someone act a fool with no talent than see someone with talent acting a fool. The only thing that stands out for most female rappers nowadays, especially when it comes to Gen Z, is their looks. If they ain't shaking, they ain't popping. I mean, the only smart person when it came down to this was Bad Baby, who literally started off from the meme, who took advantage of it and became a multi-millionaire. And guess what? She did. I mean, your boy has to get props and credit where it's due. And back on the sensitive and cancer culture talk, it is for real when it comes to this generation. And you'll always catch the same people born in the early 90s talking about how do you need to cancel this person, but for some reason tries to portray themselves like there's some sort of figure, some sort of angel who's going to crusade against these people. Like, don't you have a life? Like, ain't no way you on the internet this long. And now because of that influence from the millennials, now it's being brought down to Gen Z, where now it's just a natural thing. It's a normal phenomenon. But it's definitely Gen Z's fault for making people sensitive and soft. I mean, you can make a genuine mistake and you'll be called phobic for whatever it was. It's like, how am I scared of this in the first place? And even if someone was this and that, why does it matter? If that's the person, that's the person. You can't change people overnight. And you for sure can't change people's opinions by forcing them to change their opinions. For some reason, we're throwing logic out the window. Oh, this is literally like 6th grade level type of thinking here. But it will never get into those types of people's heads because they're so stuck on the copium, so stuck on having a short attention span and wanting to be on the internet and TikTok forever and being in the same groups of types of people that act just like them. That's definitely the making of a villain right there. We used to have a word for those types of people back in school. The ones that usually wants to hang around with the same people who acted like them and who are also basically yes men for them. But hey, I guess because it's not dealing with school, we're just gonna act like it doesn't relate to the real life world. I truly believe as a whole society, we are cooked. We are done for. GG's. And it's best to get your money up, not your funny. Because I don't trust no one nowadays at this point. I mean, literally talking to anyone can go off on you for no reason at all. With that being said, let me know how you guys feel about Gen Z. How do you feel about society as it is today in 2023? Because it definitely wasn't like this 10 years ago. And things are just becoming the norm when it really shouldn't be the norm. Because now we're having a crisis like this. With that being said, it's Josh signing off.